have kids. At least none that I know of. Welcome to Legends of Gotham, where we talk about Fox's hit series Gotham, set in the world of Batman. I'm Bill Meeks.
And I'm Anne-Marie DeSimone.
And we are back. Again. Back.
Guess who's back?
Back again. It's the Legends of Gotham crew. And we're your friends. We are your friends, and thank you for joining us here. We did have to delay the episode a day, so it's Monday night, 9 p.m. EST at facebook.com/Legends of Gotham, where we go live. Sometimes.
We can't even tell you. It's like we've been on Monday just as much as we've been on Sunday.
Yeah, we did take a little bit of a break from the live streaming and stuff. And yeah, it's been a little hard to maintain that consistency we built up over the years. But it's okay because we're back here now.
Yes.
We're having a lot of fun here on Monday night. Anne-Marie, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
You're good.
I'm good.
If you're good, I'm good.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm trying to... I still don't understand Facebook Live.
It's okay.
Struggling for 3 months now? I'm like, where do I see comments? I keep getting notifications. It tells me I'm live. I don't know. So, hi.
I'd assume we're live. We have 3 people watching over there in the comments. But thanks you guys for joining us. Now, we didn't get to do an episode for Trial of Jim Gordon. We put out a little mini-sode to let you guys know and promised that we'd be back.
And that took us 2 tries because of Facebook Live.
But we're back tonight with a Man-Bat-sized episode of Legends of Gotham.
Yes.
So we're going to be talking just a little bit about the trials of Jim Gordon, because there's just a little bit to say. And then we're going to be circling back into I Am Bane.
I Am Bane!
So, Anne-Marie, we do have 2 rhyming riddling episode summaries tonight. Why don't you get started with the first one?
I have never read this before. This should be good.
Good.
Set the expectations. Okay. Who is the man who shot good old Jim? Zsasz always had quite the problem with him. Why do people love Ivy so much? They can't resist her poisonous touch. Is the GCPD secure? Not any Thursday. Will baby Batgirl survive till her birthday? Is Gotham a prison without any warden? It all depends on the verdict of the trial of Jim Gordon.
Hear ye, hear ye. This is the trial of Jim Gordon. Anne-Marie, what'd you think?
Well... I had thoughts.
Not the biggest
fan. Okay. Here's my overarching.
Okay.
I hate these types of episodes where I can deal with a parallel storyline type thingy.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't like when we have dream visions because we're in a coma and we might die and we might not die. It's just never been my deal.
That's great because it leads into my first point, which I've called Dreamcasting.
Okay, cool.
So I personally loved the conceit of Jim dealing with his internal struggles
yin and yang.
But I really love the conceit of Jim dealing with his internal struggles through a crazy, whacked out dream sequence. It's a great way to make the struggle visual, even though it's purely internal, and it felt very, very comic book to me. Now, all that being said, Anne-Marie hated it.
Okay. Here's my issue with the overarching. This was just a Ben McKenzie love piece written by Ben McKenzie. So that's a little icky for me.
Yeah, that kind of feeds into my point actually, because I thought the dream sequence in this episode was a little too Ben McKenzie heavy. In fact, it felt almost blatant how much Ben McKenzie was in it. Multiple
Seeing
characters.
As how he wrote it.
Yeah, but I think it was pretty obvious, or at least it was obvious to me, that they were intending to get older cast members back for certain roles, and they weren't able to get them for whatever reason.
Because they hadn't been on the show in a few years?
Yeah, probably. That usually has a lot to do with it.
There's a reason they left the show?
Yeah.
Weren't being used?
So they weren't able to get these older actors back, but I was going to let you guys know my thoughts about who I thought each of these characters were supposed to be. Okay. Now, Jim shows up as his own lawyer. Pretty sure that was supposed to be Harvey Dent.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I don't think we're getting Harvey Dent anymore this season.
No,
unless it's in that,
I don't see that happening.
Unless it's in that last episode. Then I pretty obvious, it would be the executioner, Captain Barnes as the judge.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, I have a feeling they probably had a space in there to have like a Jerome or something as a material witness, or maybe
Jeremiah.
No, I was going to say maybe that was it's just my wishful thinking that Jerome could come back for one more appearance in Jim's dream sequence.
That would make sense though.
Yeah. But, sadly, actors are bound to their schedules. And I liked how the scenes came out. Like I said, I really love the overarching concept, but some old familiar faces would have really put a button on it and kind of tied back in as we're winding down the series here.
Yeah, it was definitely a filler episode. I'm so tired of saying it's a filler episode in the final season of something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I get it. You had to slot something in. But
And Mike Pascal over in the chat room says, I will break you. If we weren't going into the Bane episode, I would be very concerned. I would feel threatened.
I'm still a little concerned.
But we're going to the Bane episode, and he tends to break bats.
There was not just bats. Apparently butlers.
Bat adjacent
bats, cats,
butlers.
And butlers.
Yeah. Bats, cats, and butlers. Didn't we do an episode called Bats?
Something like that. It was good.
All right, Anne-Marie.
So I have a point. I love all the Ivy stuff. Okay, this is my least favorite of the Ivies. We won't go back into that. Listen to past episodes. But I really like get out of my shots.
Sorry, I wanted people to see my Batman t-shirt.
She's been thrown aside and recast and thrown aside and recast for 5 years now. This was the first real storyline as Ivy, as Poison Ivy, not as Ivy Pepper.
Yeah, definitely.
And I loved it. It made me kind of wish we could have seen Claire Foley do this type of stuff.
Yeah.
Because she could have done it. Because by now she's like 16 or something, and we could have pulled this off, y'all. But
it was a good good feature.
Okay. Anyway. Knowing this episode was tucked in after the rest of them actually made the story a little bit more appealing for me. So because this was written specifically okay, we need to fill this part. What can we do? And, first he writes the love story to himself, his character, and his wife. But then he's like, that doesn't fill a whole episode. Here, Ivy. Let's pull this character because we can get the actress. But more than likely. But it was done really well. Having her interrupt Bruce and Selina's dinner to put him under her spell was so appropriate, since these three characters had really such a tighter relationship in the earlier seasons.
They were all orphan buddies.
They were all orphan buddies.
Orphan buddies.
Except Selina's not an orphan. She's just abandoned, but that's different. Also, it was wonderful to see that terrible date interrupted. It was terrible.
Well, it was Bruce's first shot, minus if you don't count Silver St. Cloud.
No, this was not his first shot with Kat.
Well, I mean, his first time actually trying to do a date with her.
No, I'm pretty sure they did something like this at the manor, in having dinner in the kitchen.
Yeah, but it wasn't like a date.
Oh, no. So instead they waited till the world was ending to eat cat food out of a can.
Also, Mike Pasqua in the comments reminds us of what the episode we were thinking about.
Bat Butt Cat Cat?
Bat Butt Cat Cat.
Oh, I remember that now.
Bat Butt Cat Cat.
Bat Butt Cat Cat. Seeing how Bruce, Lucius, and Zsasz all reacted under her spell was awesome. Gotham doesn't usually get to show off the oogly googly love faces of any of its characters, so it's kind of fun because you can see them all just Ivy's wonderful. And that was just fun for me. Also that Selina had to kick them in the head to snap them out of it.
Showing off my Superman tattoo to the
Girl
screen.
power. Were you on my screen and doing...
Yeah, I was showing them my Superman tattoo. I'm an equal opportunity DC lover.
Thwack! Anyway...
But no, Ivy good.
Ivy good.
Ivy good.
Ivy good.
Okay, I wanted to talk a little bit about parallel guilt. Now, as we're seeing this more and more as the series wraps. Bruce's storyline and Jim's storyline sort of working in parallel. In the trial of Jim Gordon, they're both dealing with the guilt they feel for the current state of Gotham. They're both putting the blame on them. They both blame themselves. Now, the first step to fixing a problem is admitting you have one. And being honest with themselves seems like a great first step for Bruce and Jim.
True.
They're two men with one mission. And it's a dynamic I think we'll continue to see moving forward with the characters of Bruce and Jim as Bruce becomes Batman. Like
very quickly.
Yeah. I just think it's interesting that they both put the blame for everything that's gone on squarely on their shoulders. So
when clearly it should be shared between the two of them.
Yeah, but Bruce and Jim need to have a real heart-to-heart after Jim gets done dealing with his old ex-army buddy and the baby and the military blowing up Gotham, which we'll get to in just a couple minutes. But yeah, I really like that parallel construction of their plot line here. I have a feeling it's going to converge really nicely.
I'm sure.
And maybe we'll even get like another them on the stoop scene. There will be light kind of thing.
There will be light. Didn't we already get that though?
Or Bruce.
No, we sort of already got the there will be light, but it was Bruce giving that to Jim already. And that was up with the bat signal before it was the bat signal.
I would just like to have like a little moment like that with a similar kind of scene where, because I mean, in Gotham's version of this story, I don't think there's any way that Bruce is going to be able to become Batman without Jim blatantly knowing. It's often suggested in the comic books that he knows and he just doesn't do anything about it because he likes the results.
Right.
But I don't think they can really get out of this one because, I mean, Jim has helped Bruce on some of his early adventures.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, there's really no way, which is fine because they won't have to address it because the series is ending.
Very true.
It doesn't matter. In this universe, they know.
5 seasons in a movie. Do it.
Don't see that happening. Okay.
Do a movie in like 3 years. Like a straight to DVD release, straight to Netflix, straight to Apple streaming service, straight to CBS All Access release.
Except that this is on Fox. Okay, so my last point for this episode is sort of like quibbles and bits, things that I found odd or weirdly phrased. So when Harvey, I believe, comes to check on Jim and Lee's like, it's touch and go, but he's stable. Those are two very different things. This was pointed out in our Twitter. I forget. We mentioned it, I think, in our little announcement.
Yeah.
Touch and go means homie's almost dead, but they keep bringing him back. Stable means you can go get lunch. He's not going anywhere. Those are very different. If somebody's touch and go, I'm not leaving their side. An excessive amount of saying baby daddy and child's father.
Baby daddy.
We get it. Like we all know, we've all gone on the journey.
Yeah, it's only been like 3 or 4 episodes that she's been pregnant. It's felt like the entire season.
It's like the entire series. Like it just keeps going. And we got none of the pregnancy should be like fun included and build it into the storyline, not just have her gracefully rub her belly and go, my baby daddy and stuff. Like, no, stop it. Stop it.
How was Babsy formed is what I want to know.
I just don't understand. I swear these police officers are coming out of the woodwork. Yeah. Like, really, they're just multiplying. They are like rabbits.
Because so many die in like every episode.
Every episode, we lose like 12.
What was it? The Strike Force?
Where Strike Force.
They just kept dropping and dropping and dropping.
Yeah, but they didn't multiply. Yeah. And these ones come equipped with uniforms. The city is in peril. Why are you still dressed? Like, everybody is like, I am in a suit. I am in my uniform.
Well,
and no one's dirty.
It's gangland.
No. No one is dirty.
It's gangland Gotham. They all have to have their unique looks so they can identify each other out on the street, you know?
I don't know, man. This is just, it's something. Let's see. Okay. I am okay standing alone on my island on this one. I'm totally okay with it. But I did not need that wedding. I feel like Ben just wrote that for Marina. And
I agree with you, which is why I loved it.
That you didn't, that he wrote it for her. But I didn't need it.
If you guys weren't aware, basically the way the scheduling worked out, the wedding at the end of this Trials of Jim Gordon was the last scene they shot. So I thought it was a really nice way for the actors to kind of say goodbye. And, even Harvey Bullock's speech where he's like, if we didn't do anything else here, we got these two together. And that was really, Donald Logue talking to his friends.
But I have issues with that whole situation anyway.
About them getting married?
About the whole thing.
Yeah.
She was already married.
Well, he died.
No, I mean in reality.
Oh, that whole thing. Okay.
I have issues with the whole thing.
Let's keep it locked down to the Gotham universe here.
I have had issues with this pairing.
TMZ might always be on before Gotham, but we are not TMZ.
No,
but I thought it was a nice, sweet way for them to all say goodbye to each other on screen. You know,
I mean, the problem with that was it felt very series finale episode, but there was still 3 more to go.
Yeah. That is like that sweet saccharine moment might have been. No, it probably wouldn't have been good at the end of the series either, because this is a Batman series, and you don't really get sweet saccharine moments. At most, you get like melancholy.
Yeah, no, we got like IV stuff. I'll have one more thing that's actually not in here.
Okay.
What was that?
It's okay. Sorry, Anne Marie's laughing. I'm just going to keep talking for a minute while she composes herself.
I love the visual of the episode. Mm-hmm. This was so, as I'm sure everybody knows, and we've talked about now, Ben wrote it, but Aaron Richards, Babs, directed it, and I thought it was beautiful. Mm-hmm. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. Like, no, I don't like the whole trial thing. Yeah, but it was pretty. Mm-hmm. I felt like there were very nice directorial choices.
Nice.
So, thumbs up.
So you did have something good to say about it. We should have just done the episode back when it aired. No.
No, we shouldn't have.
No, but okay. We do have one piece. We have several pieces of feedback for Trial of Jim Gordon. We're just going to read one letter for now, and then we're going to play all the voicemails at the end of the show. Because
it's just too much to do in the middle of the show.
This is from Mark Bickford, and he says, "Hello, Bill and Anne Marie." Hi, Mark. Hi. I wanted to share a few thoughts on the latest episode of Gotham.
Last week's episode.
Yeah, last week's episode. First, I saw in an interview that this was the final episode they shot, which makes it the second filler episode. And I never would have guessed it from the content. This was also Aaron Richards' chance to direct an episode, so I'm interested if you noticed anything particular about what she brought to the episode. Anne Marie's addressed that. Also, were Jim and Lee back together at the end of season 4? No, because that was with Ed and stabbing each other and everything.
We'll talk about that in I Am Bane.
Yeah, Lee was with Ed back then. They've been on and off so many times I've lost count. And interest. Agreed, Mark. Selena beating on Bruce while saying everything but "you can't leave me" was heartbreaking. I can see that. That. Before this whole thing ends, I'd love to hear what the two of you thought of season 4. It wouldn't need to be a whole episode, but a brief discussion would be great. Have a great show, Mark.
Okay. I said this to him earlier.
Okay.
We stopped podcasting before the best season of Gotham, and then we came back for the Land of Filler.
Yeah.
Season 4 was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
I'm sure there was filler. I'm sure I would have criticisms where I would yell at the camera like I am tonight. But
like I never even thought the whole like twin brother thing, which I saw a lot of people complain about online during season 4.
I think we liked that.
I really enjoyed that. And I really loved Jeremiah before he turned. I loved him after, Jeremiah. Before he turned.
Jeremiah. Yeah.
Yeah. Before he got hit with the Joker gas.
Yes.
I love that character. And I really would have loved, if I had one regret about season 4, it's that they didn't just go with that character from the beginning, because it would have sort of built up that brotherly relationship between them a bit more, where it kind of, in season 5, it's kind of fallen flat because, they hung out for 2 episodes. They're best buddies and he's obsessed with Bruce and everything like that.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of...
Like, I feel like if they had decided to use the Jeremiah character from the start, it would have been a little more cohesive. That being said, I loved all of it.
Yeah. We missed talking about some of the best episodes of the series. Okay? That's what we think.
But thanks very much,
Mark. Thanks for bringing that one up there, Mark. Thanks.
And like I said, we're going to play the voicemails for the rest of the Trial of Jim Gordon at the end of the episode.
Like after the credit music. Yeah. Keep on listening.
Headline, though, if you want to send in feedback, legendsofgotham@gmail.com or 424-274-2352 for the voicemail.
Yeah, we'll tell you that again.
So,
later.
Okay, Anne-Marie, you have another rhyming, riddling episode summary for I Am Bane.
Who is the daughter of the demon's head? She's feeling vengeful because the demon's dead. Is Hugo Strange's science insane? The answer is yes. The validation is Bane. Is Alfred injured? Pretty much always. Does Barbara Kean shoot from wheelchairs and hallways? Who was the man who caused all the pain? An answer from the shadows. I am Bane.
I am Bane.
I am Bane.
Anne-Marie, what'd you think? You're not too familiar with the Bane character, are you?
I am familiar with this.
With the little toy
I am familiar with this toy that I have promised to put at my son's bedside table when we are done because he has been yelling for it.
He's been asking for it for weeks, but we knew there was a Bane episode
for 2 months or whenever we stole it from when they announced it. Okay. I think I liked this one a lot more than the last episode.
Oh, definitely.
This one held my interest. I wasn't playing on my phone. And it was like when the final credits, like the boom, boom, like came up, I was like, wait, no, I wanted more.
What are you doing?
I haven't done that in a while. So it was good.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Oh, I really enjoyed it. Bane is not my favorite character in the world by any stretch of the imagination, but I thought they did a really good job with him. And I have some more points about that I'll get into. I also really liked the things I'm going to talk about later. I also really I love Penguin and Ed this episode too. I'm not going to talk about that. I love that whole thing in there.
Do I even talk about that?
You do a little bit. I don't
remember any of my
the big submarine and everything. Loved it. So campy, so great, so fun. I can totally see Penguin and Ed from this episode becoming the Batman 66 versions of the characters. And I also I'm loving their dynamic too. It's just like, yeah, we're both equally evil and dastardly and backstabbing, but we know it about each other, so we trust each other.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Good things.
Okay, so I guess I'll go ahead and move to my first talking point here, which I have titled The Demon's Daughter. Now, in this episode, Senator Walker, or Walker? It was Walker, right? But in this episode, Senator Walker is revealed as the daughter of Ra's al Ghul, Nyssa. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
I have no idea. I heard one thing and then I was like, I missed that. I had to go on IMDb to figure out what her name was.
Yeah, and that's the problem with knowing all these characters from the comic books is that you read their name a million times, but you never say it or hear it.
And you're like, oh.
But
Nyssa?
So first of all, this isn't the daughter most people, including myself, were expecting. In The Dark Knight Rises and most other media, the daughter in question is Talia al Ghul, a love interest for Bruce Wayne. She's also very connected with Bane and the whole plot line. Well, in The Dark Knight Rises, which we'll get into more later. But Nyssa first appeared during Greg Rucka's run on the character in the early 2000s. She was a forgotten love child of Ra's from 18th century Russia who survived without his knowledge into the modern day because he forgot to pack his Lazarus pit when he left for a pack of smokes. So, Ra's didn't know about her for years and years and years, and then she shows back up and gets involved in Ra's things and Batman's thing and all that. So I'm guessing the change in character here, because you would think they'd go with Talia. It really comes down to David's age, the actor who plays Bruce Wayne. They wanted an older, intimidating Al Ghul daughter, and but didn't want to undo the romantic relationship as exists in canon. So they didn't want to bring in like a 30-year-old woman to play Talia al Ghul so she could be nice and intimidating and strong. And then be like, oh, by the way, that's the girl that Bruce hooks up with and has new Robin with, down the line. Oh. Yeah. There's a whole thing. Oh. Damian Wayne.
I do not approve.
Damian Wayne, the version of Robin that's the son of Batman. It's the daughter of Bruce Wayne and Talia al Ghul.
I do not approve.
I'm not even going to get into how that child was conceived.
Please don't.
Yeah, it's even worse. But I'm guessing, like I said, the change is down to David's age. And in a way, that makes good sense. People complain this show so much about them not sticking to canon, that they probably didn't want to undo another piece of canon, right here, right in the last mile.
Bobby said, during the show, I exclaimed, "Holy crap, it's Talia!" Then it went, "Oh, it's Nyssa." He also said he's always said this is a twisted version of 66 Batman.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And but
Mike Pascal points out we've seen Nyssa on Arrow.
Oh, yeah. When I was doing my research before the show, I saw that she's been on Arrow.
You didn't share that with me.
I didn't
But that
share.
doesn't really matter.
But now Mike has.
I speak no Arrowverse.
But, on my first watch, though, I was kind of upset with her because she kept blaming Bruce for everything when he was forced to kill Raish by Raish twice. Not just once, but twice. To fit into his plan and the things he saw for Bruce coming up and everything. She says, this is about punishing Gotham for the sins of Bruce Wayne. And it also plays into Bruce's guilt from last episode, which I was talking about earlier. Mm-hmm. But you'd think Raish would keep his daughter in the loop. The only thing I can think is that because she's an estranged daughter, her confusion comes from that. Even if her methods leave a little bit to be desired. So I'm thinking that maybe they just haven't talked for a while and she heard he was dead. On the other hand, maybe Raish kept her in the dark purposefully because he had this grand vision of Gotham's future. And maybe he saw Nyssa involved in that and was like, okay, I'm not going to tell her that I'm orchestrating all this because she needs to come in and bring in the military to blow up the town.
Yeah.
So overall, very interesting portrayal of an Al Ghul. Not the one we were expecting, but pretty good nonetheless. And I'm not quite as mad about her once I thought it through. What did you think about her overall?
Okay, so I didn't know instantly that she was an Al Ghul. Mm-hmm. I kept going, she's really reminding me of what's her face that we killed at the orphanage? Sophia Falcone.
Sophia. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that. Her demeanor, her voice, her speech patterns. Maybe I was like, is there another one? Is there another one?
But what did Bruce do to them? Like, I don't understand. I was very confused. I was on Team Bruce going, what? What did I do? I don't know how he had the moment where he's like, oh, that's what I did. So, yeah, nice. That's what I thought about that. So for something completely different, Lee and Babs.
The Lee and Babs show.
This is just sort of like a series of like little comments about their escapades in this episode, otherwise known as the birth of a baby. Okay, so I really wish we'd have been able to see a little bit more, like I said, of this pregnancy. Mm-hmm. Because Lee would take care of her like the perfect like doctor.
Yeah.
And we didn't really get to see that. Except in this episode, really? Or like the first one where she's like, just get your prenatals from the lady, which I'm still curious how they have anything in Gotham. But so this one, she seemed really like to take on a bit more of like as a friend too, which was kind of nice to see. I don't know. I'm really curious how this whole like family raising of this child is going to happen.
Well, I thought it was interesting that they had the whole conversation where they sort of, made good after all the potential killings and everything that's gone on between them. This is Auntie Lee.
This is stepmommy Lee. And I am shocked she didn't correct her.
But, to kind of clear the way for, obviously, Lee to help raise baby Batgirl.
I think that something's going to happen to Babs. Mm-hmm. And Lee and Jim are going to raise the baby.
Yeah. And that was kind of my thinking on it, too, was that, this whole scene was to set up, Lee had Barbara's blessing to help raise her kid or whatever.
Yeah.
I think I would have sold it to me a lot better if they had a couple more touch-tone moments throughout the season where you saw their relationship improving.
Which was where we'd had the progression of the pregnancy like a normal pregnancy.
Yeah.
You'd have had that.
But basically, they encounter each other again. Babs is pregnant. Lee needs to take care of it. She's not too happy about it. She goes and marries Jim. She goes and marries the father of the baby. And then they make nice, when Bane shows up.
Right. Let's see. I do feel like Babs changed Pre-pregnancy, she would have at least swung at Nessa upon walking into the siren, seeing all the League of Shadows members dead. I actually kind of expected this to happen even with the baby in her arms.
Yeah.
Instead of her just going, ah! Like, it's literally like all she did. So that was a little bit weird to me.
Bobby over in the chat room says he wonders if Barbara will sacrifice herself to guarantee the safety of her child. That's what I'm guessing. Yeah.
Yeah. I can see something along those lines is what's going to happen. Also, and probably the most annoying thing of this entire thing, cleanest birth ever. And I don't think Babs ever even took her coat off.
It takes a lot of work to dirty up one of those Gotham streets. They're pretty darn. I mean,
it has nothing to do with the street.
I guarantee you go to any Gotham City street, you run a swab on it, take it back to the lab. There's going to be amniotic fluid in there. There's going to be, placenta. There's going to be blood. There will be blood. What else happens with birth? Sweat.
Let's not go there. Let's not go there. We're not going to talk about everything that happens. But
yeah, we'll leave it there. Use your imagination.
Or a science book. But like, it actually really bothered me that when she came to the hospital in labor, that Lee didn't go, okay, take off your coat and lay down in the bed. Like, let's at least take off the overcoat. Like, we knew you had to make a daring escape, but does Babs not understand? Like,
Bobby over in the chat room says they didn't even ask her for towels or hot water.
No, they didn't.
Which everybody knows you take the towels, you put them under the woman, and then you pour the scalding, boiling hot water on top of her. And that's how you give birth.
This is why I was in hospitals. I don't know if my kids would have made it otherwise. Yeah. She didn't even take a coat off. I'm sorry. Yeah. Like, this is like a taxi cab birth.
Well, it's really one request for towels and hot water away from being like a classic sitcom birth like you'd see on like Taxi or something like that.
Right. But I mean, I think even there they perspired. Like, she didn't even look, her makeup was not smudged. Mm-hmm. It was her first baby. It's not a quick situation.
And for all the violence Gotham shows, they didn't show like 1 second of the delivery. Not even like a,
oh! No, not at all. I'm like, this is what they live for. They live for the pain and the screaming and the blood and the gore. And there was nothing.
You have her like midway through pushing out the baby and then Bane shows up.
Oh, no. See, that's just too much. It's too much.
That's not so Gotham?
No, that is so Gotham, but let's not go there. Mike says, remember Lee's plot, baby? Yes.
Yes.
See, but that was done well.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of.
There were repercussions.
There were repercussions.
That's why I don't think Lee and Jim ever really got back together after that.
That was exactly why. Yeah. Anyway, moving right along.
Okay.
The Bane of Gotham.
Yes. This episode is I Am Bane. So we must talk about the Bane of Gotham. Mm-hmm. Or I almost titled this point, the Bane of way too on the nose use of a word.
Oh my God. You will be the Bane.
It's from the comic. I understand.
You will be the Bane of that.
It was very on the nose in the comic too. It's okay. So overall, as much as I don't like the character personally, I thought they did a really good job with Bane. The backstory connecting him to Jim's army days feels like it's providing a counterpoint to the PTSD soldier version of Jim we met in the first season. In that situation, you can either go Jim's way or you can go Eduardo's way. And so it's kind of like illustrating Eduardo could have been Jim if a couple things had gone a little differently. Or if Jim wasn't a good person.
It was just one bad day.
Just one bad day. One bad day. Bring it back. Bring it back. You did. You did the thing. So honestly, I'm not the
Bobby says that monologue was the bane of the episode. It's true.
But honestly, not a big fan of Bane. The most thrilling part of the whole plot line for me was the 30 to 40 seconds Jim had Bane powers. For a minute, I totally thought they were going to turn him into a super powered hero for the rest of the episode, have him go and like save Barbara, do all of that stuff, and that would have been awesome.
I actually think he's going to retain some of those powers.
You think so?
I don't think it's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, once you're injected with some strange shenanigans, you're injected.
Well, I don't know how Gotham's version of Bane is going to work. In the comics, he has to keep that steady flow of venom.
Oh, is that what this thing is?
Yeah. I think it's a gas in this maybe, but
no, that was most definitely a liquid.
But in the comics, in the comics, it's a gas that gets pumped in through the face covering. Or no, actually, it's not even in the comics. It's not even a face covering.
Not in this guy. There's no way that.
Yeah, the face covering is from The Dark Knight Returns. In the comics, he wears like a luchador mask, like a Mexican wrestler mask, and then there are tubes going back and into the back of his head, and that's how the venom's delivered. But it does need to be a constant supply. Like if he's like having a hard time in battle, he hits a button on his suit and it pumps in more venom. Oh, kind of thing.
Interesting.
But yeah, that would have been really cool to see him like, maybe we'll get a little bit more of that. That'd be good.
That'd be cool.
But let's see here. I wonder how important Bane is going to be for the rest of the season, though. This really seemed like a showcase for that particular character. And now the military's bombed the city. So really, how much more damage can he do?
Oh, I'm sure he can do something.
I mean, I guess he can come after people personally. You know, he can come after Babs. He can come after Bruce, maybe even Jim, because for some reason, everyone knows that Jim is Bruce's friends now. And so anytime someone wants to get to Bruce Wayne, they go for Jim.
Well, because he was like a father figure.
Yes.
Bobby says, I think roided up Jim will end up mano a mano with Bane.
That would be pretty sweet. That would be pretty sweet. I really enjoyed, actually, you know what? I'm going to save that. We'll talk about that in a couple minutes here.
Yeah. With end of my point there.
Yeah.
Which is apparently, okay. It definitely mostly got deleted and I don't know what it was.
Okay.
So here's like the little snippet that lived in the doc. Watching Selena and Alfred spend so much time together is still a little odd for me, seeing as how the slap heard around, Gotham. I feel like they're both just trying to protect one another as a way of protecting Bruce. I feel like I had more to say about that, but I don't know what it was. But would this be a good time for you to say your thing or?
Light the night!
Oh, okay.
It's time to light the night, people! Everybody loves a lit night. Yes, on Light the Night, in our new reoccurring for this episode, maybe one or two more, we shine a light on pivotal steps on Bruce's path to becoming the Bat. Anne-Marie, what are we shining a light on tonight?
Bruce scooting his chair towards the candle to escape and then hitting the guards with the chair.
I would even extend that to say Bruce's entire episode this episode, because like the anger, the frustration, all the really great emotions that David gave this episode, totally Batman-esque.
That's so Batman.
And I was going to add a little bullet point on here for my previous point. Bane gives his first backbreaker. I guess that's not technically a light the night, but considering Batman gets his back broken by Bane in the comics in the future, I think that counts. Yeah. I think that counts. Alfred got the hell beat out of him again, like he does every other episode. God,
like this time, like, well, okay. Ooh, did I? No. Okay. Selena also gets thrown and like her back, like,
oh yeah.
And then like her crawling was just like a cat and like something was broken on her like outfit and it looked like a tail. I was like, did they really do that? They did. Nice. They did. Also, it's kind of nice to see her care so much about Alfred, but still very, very weird.
Yeah.
For that little minx.
Although in the Bane trailer that we got in between Trial of Jim Gordon and I Am Bane, there's another backbreaking that we did not see in this episode. So there's another one coming.
So apparently all Bane does is break backs.
Maybe a bit more traditional. And that's all I can say without getting spoilery. Although that was a total spoiler. Sorry, guys. That was a
total spoiler.
So that was Light the Night. Light the night! Okay, we're going to get back into the discussion in just a minute, but first off, we're going to play this.
In this crazy mixed-up world, you need fake news you can depend on.
Fake count on.
Laugh at. When news is breaking, it's probably the fakest.
It's probably the fakest that's breaking it. That's me. I'm Paul Defoe.
We've got a commercial, Paul.
Breaking the fake news for real. From KCOM Studios in somewhere west of New York City, this is The Fakest.
Only one podcast is on it. On the scene, making Up, breaking the fake news for real, with more reporters covering more fake stories. Coming June 18th to Apple Podcast, Stitcher, Google Play, Google Podcast, and VoiceFacts. I can also email you the transcript if you want. Check us out at thefakest.com and subscribe on Apple Podcast for a new thrilling episode every 2 weeks. Pretty timely. The Fakest. We fake it when we make it.
It is not political. We have to put that up front. It's basically a sketch comedy podcast with a plot. Basically, every news story on The Fakest is a comedy sketch, and then the story of the people who make The Fakest, the news team, is the interconnecting tissue between those. You'll hear a lot of familiar voices. Bobby, who's over in our comments right now, Anne-Marie here, which she won't let you forget about me, if you didn't recognize that voice in the trailer.
Or the picture of the guy.
Rebecca Johnson from Supergirl Radio.
John and Derek from
Gotham TV Podcast. Tons of old friends. I think about 40 people now have done a voice for The Fakest.
And lots of new voices will be in season 2, which is really exciting.
Yeah, season 2 is going to be coming out shortly, sometime in the very near future.
Sometime soon.
I'm pretty close to halfway done with it. But I think actually keep subscribed to this feed during this hiatus here. I might give you guys a sneak peek of the first episode of season 2.
And by hiatus, we mean the month that Fox has taken off because March Madness, maybe?
Yeah, but check that out at thefakest.com or just search for it on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts,
Stitcher,
Microsoft or Windows Phone Podcast, Commodore 64
You're the bane
Cast
of my existence.
Well, I'm glad I can do something for you. Okay, so let's get back to the episode discussion.
Let's talk about the show.
And this point here, I'm calling the Dark Gotham Rises. Now, as is to be expected in a Bane-centric episode, there are a ton of callbacks to Bane's second big screen appearance in The Dark Knight Rises. Why they didn't reference his first appearance in Batman and Robin, I'll never know. It was a really bad version of the character. Was it? Really, really
I don't think
bad.
I've even seen that one.
Yeah, he was basically a flunky for Uma Thurman's Poison Ivy. So yeah, a lot of bad there in Batman and Robin, but kind of kitschy fun too. Here, guys, in the comments, I did my best. I've only seen The Dark Knight Rises once because I didn't really like it that much compared to the other two. If you caught any references to that movie in this episode, go ahead and put them in the comments and we'll catch back up later. But these are the ones I caught. Now, Nisa references a classic Bane line when talking to Bruce. She says, "I want you to suffer, Bruce Wayne, and then I want you to die." And it reminded me a lot of Bane's line. I think it's Bane's line from Dark Knight Rises. "We will destroy Gotham. Then when it is done and Gotham is ashes, then you have my permission to die." It kind of felt like the same sort of rhythm and everything.
Okay.
I think Bruce using the candle to free himself is a reference to all the fire stuff. The fire rises in The Dark Knight Rises. And there's tons of references in dialogue to fire. There's actual fires within the thing within the movie, and there's even fire all over the poster. So I kind of think maybe they chose fire as Bruce's get out of jail free card as a reference to that movie. The fact that Gotham is currently in a no man's land scenario, which happens in The Dark Knight Rises, and is also in large part due to Bane. I just wanted, this doesn't really fit into the references so much, but I wanted to contrast the way they did Bane's voice in Dark Knight Rises versus this. Basically, in cartoons, video games, stuff like that, Bane doesn't really have like a muffled voice. He basically just sounds like, your average neighborhood luchador. So in Dark Knight Rises, they give Tom Hardy the face mask, which we've demonstrated here. And he also talks like this a little bit. Like, I'll read this line I wrote down here in the Bane voice from Dark Knight Rises. "We will destroy Gotham, but when it is done and Gotham is ashes, then you have my permission to die."
Is he a Dalek?
He sounds really, really weird. And plus, they put this effect on it to where his face is covered so you can barely understand anything he's saying for most of the movie. I thought they did a really good job of incorporating the mask in this episode while making him understandable and a little bit more menacing. I think they just pitch shifted the actor's voice down, and they had a little bit of a digital metal effect to it.
Yeah,
but it wasn't like, I am muffled, I am Bane, I am going to
stop sounding like a Dalek.
This plane.
Exterminate.
The fire rises. Anyway, any references over in the chat room?
No.
All right. Well, I guess that's it then. Go ahead and pop them in there if you think of any, before we get out of here.
Okay. So, will Ed and Oswald make back to the submarine before the episode or the city explodes? Tune in 1 month to find out. Honestly, I just hope we see them pull up to the sub just as a bomb hits it or something, and Oswald throws one of his tantrums. I loved them.
One of the things I was disappointed about in this episode, in that particular scene, they didn't. They didn't show Barbara taking the pressure regulator.
How would she have gotten it?
Yeah, exactly.
She had to have had it beforehand. And he did a 16-point check.
She was legit 15, 20 feet out from the sub with Penguin and Riddler standing between them. Unless she came there earlier to take it or something.
But he literally came out of it.
Yeah.
It made no sense.
It made no sense. But Riddler and Penguin always make a lot of sense.
Okay.
Nig Mobblepots.
Apparently, I use these as quibbles and bits, use them as points. I didn't write them down. I enjoyed the Lee. You stabbed me first. Mm-hmm. That was fabulous because it really was the first time the two of them had seen each other this entire season.
Yeah.
That escaped me until he said that. I was like, what? They haven't gone through this yet? No. Okay. Also when Pengy, sorry, I can't hold still. Was this for Barbara or for Lee? And he's like, do you really want me to answer that?
Uh-huh.
He's like, nope. So for Lee, Crash.
Yeah.
I actually liked them together better. Seeing that.
Ed and Lee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked the Ed and Lee dynamic. I loved her as the slumlord, not slumlord, but Queen of the Narrows.
Yeah, I also have to, I just want to come back to real quick. That scene with Ed and Penguin at the end was so great when Penguin was like, so we didn't need to be here. You stayed here because you wanted to help people. And you can tell Penguin has a problem with it. And Ed's like, you know what, screw it, let's get out of here. And Penguin's like, okay. So Penguin and Ed are both evil.
Yeah.
Penguin is way more evil and cruel and psychotic than Ed. And they've come to terms with that.
Yes.
Which I thought was a really positive step in their relationship.
I enjoyed when he's like, why are we staying? I only brought enough ammo for a light firefight, not for this. And he's like, explosives. And then he's like, okay, I'm good with that. Just because he gets to play with explosives. And then make a Rube Goldberg project to explode Bane, which doesn't work.
You know what I've really liked structurally about the episodes this season is that, generally it would be a couple characters would be the main focus of one episode. One might have a B plot over here, but they wouldn't really necessarily touch each other throughout the course of the episode. Those
lately
plots.
There's been A plot, B plot, and C plot that don't have anything to do with each other.
Well, it seems like the episodes lately, Trial of Jim Gordon aside, it seems like, we're getting a focus on all of our characters, what they're doing individually. And then at the end of, or about midway through the episode, it all kind of coalesces and you see how it all connects.
Which is how a show is supposed to go.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that. I think eventually there's.
I think it has to when it ends in 2 episodes.
Yeah, generally those kind of connections come over the course of a 2 or 3 episode arc, where these ones they're kind of putting everyone in place and then bringing them all together in every episode, which I think is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed it.
Bobby agrees with me that Nigma seeing Lee was definitely a highlight of the episode, and loves when he becomes Nigma MacGyver. Yes,
definitely.
Yeah. Anytime he puts something together.
Very nice. Okay, I just have Anne-Marie didn't put in quibbles and bits.
I've just been throwing them at you the entire episode.
But I just had two little things that stuck out here I wanted to mention. First, the U.S. Military caused more harm to Gotham in 5 minutes than the Valeska brothers have caused in 5 seasons.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like they just came in hard, man. Like,
well, that's because they did what the general said to do,
Yeah.
but he was under a brain switchy thing.
yeah, at first, I didn't realize that the general had been chipped.
He was totally
My
chipped.
first watch through, and I was like, man, that guy's a real jerk. They went out of their way to save him and everything.
Yeah, no, he mind flipped. Did you
Yeah.
see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like his eyes are bling bling. Mike wonders, will baby Babs be blonde because Babs is blonde? Well, Jim's kind of blondie too.
Yeah, and
I think she'll be blonde.
I don't want to get too spoilery, but we do have a major flash forward episode coming up at the end of the season. There may have been some clips of a certain
Baby.
Babs, and not the one you're thinking of.
Yeah.
And if those pictures are accurate, then yeah, she's blonde.
There you go.
My one last quibble and bit though relates to the current Babs.
Yeah.
Really? You took the baby back to the Sirens Club, the one place in Gotham associated with Barbara Kean?
Well, where else would they have gone?
I don't know. Anywhere. Lee used to be the queen of the Narrows. She probably could have found
Queen
some
of the
spot there.
Narrows.
To the GCPD.
I mean, there's only 27.
Like the GCPD
automatically
not only has all those
police officers,
police officers you saw, but that's also where the military is camping out while the general's away. You know,
kind of. They seemed like in a new airplane hangar, not the same one we used for the first 3 seasons.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. They must not have been able to get that hangar for the last episode.
You know, it's like, ooh, it's a new one. We had the same hangar. It served everybody's purposes, but not this time.
Okay, now comes time for the arbitrary scale. This is where I pick a random number, a random thing from the episode, and we rate the episode based on this arbitrary scale that I totally did not write down on this sheet right here. Okay, now Anne-Marie.
Yeah.
And by the way, feel free to let us know in the comments too.
If you're still watching.
Out of 917 pressure regulators, how many pressure regulators do you give this episode, and do we see them?
I'm going to give it 784.
784. Why?
Definitely one of the better episodes as of late. But you know, there's still some weird issue-y things that I have, and we have to wait a month for the rest of it. So that that automatically like knocks you 50 points when I have to wait 4 weeks for anything else.
Yeah. Okay.
What about you?
What about me?
Yeah.
As for me, I am going to give it 817 pressure regulators. A solid B plus, I think. I mean, I don't math, but we'll assume so. I thought they made, while they used the Nolan movies as a major influence, especially for Bane, I thought they did some things better than the Nolan film as far as Bane is concerned. And I also think that it was cool and stuff. I really love Bruce in it. I really loved everything with Bruce and Nisa Al Ghul, especially once I understood what was going on.
It took a minute.
But overall, it was a really, really solid episode.
All right. Mike Pasquale gives it 900, and we do not see them. Bobby has yet to give his final thing. He was like, wait, what's the number? 900 something? No.
So we'll hear back from Bobby in just a minute.
Yes.
So,
693 pressure regulators.
Okay, we're gonna save that for the end.
Okay, yeah.
So
I didn't know where you wanted it.
Oh, it's okay. We're basically going right now to listener feedback. We always love to hear what you guys think about the episodes too.
Very true.
When you get done watching the episode, you can take a very gentle stroll, stop and get a snack, but make it to your computer or your phone. And you can email us legendsofgotham@gmail.com. The voicemail is
424-274-2352.
Again, that's 424-274-2352. You can also tap us on Twitter @Legends of Gotham or Facebook, facebook.com/Legends of Gotham.
Tap us on Twitter.
As is tradition, we're going to start with voicemail. And as is super tradition, we're going to start with Bobby's voicemail. Take it away, Bobby.
Hey guys, it's Bobby.
Hey.
So needless to say, the last few weeks of Gotham have been pretty lackluster. And after seeing tonight's episode, I really don't understand why. Because in the last 2 episodes, I feel like nothing was going on. And then in this episode, it feels like all of a sudden it was just like, oh crap, we got to finish. Hurry up, throw all this stuff in. I mean, I had to watch the episode like 2 or 3 times to even catch everything that was happening. Let's just say, for starters, not a big fan of what they've done with Bane. Although I will say kudos to them because, of course, Walker was Nisa. At first, when they started talking, I was like, oh, holy crap, she's Talia. But then, of course, she's not Talia, she's Nisa. But I mean, of course, like, we should have seen that coming, Bane. Anyway, I mean, of course. And then what happened when did they inject Gordon with venom? Did he get amped up and then they didn't mess with his mind? So now he's strong, but he's not all whacked out like Eduardo is, or Bane, or whatever you want to call him. Kind of got.
I would say that, because Anne-Marie mentioned this during the episode too, Bobby, about the fact of him retaining these powers. I know if nothing else, they're temporary because Venom was introduced in I think it was a one-shot called Batman Venom, where Batman gets addicted to the Venom chemical. And obviously Batman isn't super strong anymore. Well, actually, I mean, he does run with the Justice League now, so there might be a little bit of the Venom left in there.
Who knows?
Lost there for a second. And speaking of lost, when did Barbara become so pregnant? I'm really lost on the time.
Okay. It was in my notes and didn't make it to the thing. There was a time jump between the last episode and this episode, but they never told us.
Yeah. Oh, it was never spelled out on screen.
It was not put on screen. And it had to be a solid, no less than 2 months jump based on the belly.
Well, I would assume that due to the hormones that Jerome added to the drinking supply in Gotham, that pregnancies in Gotham now only last a month and a half.
No. But there definitely was a time jump, really, even just for them to have cleaned up the water and made the connections, be like, no, seriously, we've got it down. Bring your people, save us. And to get them to actually do it. And they even said, so I think the opening scene where they were turning Bane into Bane happened in the last episode or 2 episodes ago timeline. And then I think the do was the time jump. Yeah. And then when it's Harvey going in to see Jim, we're 2 months later and nobody knows. Really, until you see Barbara get out of that car, I was like, oh, wait, time jumped. Don't pull any Once Upon a Time crap on us here.
Timelines.
Sometime in the future. Many years ago. None of that crap. I need hard season.
It seems like just maybe a month or so ago, maybe 2, she shacked up with Gordon, and now all of a sudden this is, I don't know. I mean, of course there was the wedding last week. Just everything seems so off. Yep. I didn't even catch until the second viewing that the general's eyes glossed over before he ordered.
Again, Bobby, you're reading my mind, man.
386. While it does sound like I'm griping quite a bit, I do feel like there were a few highlights anyway of the episode. I really liked seeing Alfred and Selina working together. Really brought it home when I didn't realize it seeing the preview clip last week, but that Bane broke Alfred's back as opposed to Batman's or Gordon's.
That was totally 2 different clips.
Yeah, the scene you're referencing is the more traditional over the knee.
Yeah.
Also, I thought it was interesting, the Alfred Selina thing. Mm-hmm. They've come a long way since he punched her in the face.
Slapped.
Was it slapped?
Yeah,
I think it was a punch.
And that Selina obviously cared when that happened. But I think my favorite part of the episode would probably be the interplay between Riddler and Penguin. Hell, even the.
Okay, hold on though. Should Selina even care because she has the weird seed in her neck, and that was supposed to make her mean?
Well, I think
she was mean for an episode and a half, and now she's like, Alfred!
Well, I think before she wouldn't have been an outright criminal, and maybe.
But now she's not an outright criminal.
Well,
she's not.
Okay.
Let Bobby continue.
Dynamic between Barbara and Lee, and just one more gripe: what the heck is going on with Jeremiah, whatever, Velasquez, whatever. Where is he? What's going on? We know we're going to see him again. And now am I right to hear? Did I hear the previews right saying that it's going to be 4 more weeks before we get the end of Gotham?
Yep.
And then it's just going to be a 2-hour episode?
No.
Did I hear that right?
What?
As Anne-Marie is going to research that right now, as far as we know, it's going to be 2 episodes, 2 weeks.
But hold tight. Keep talking.
There was so much potential at the beginning of this season. So much potential. As far as this week, while I mentioned quite a few highlights, I can't help but just be disappointed, quite honestly.
2 weeks.
I'm really hoping that this finale will make this all come together. But as for this week, out of a scale of 14 illegitimate children fathered by Bullock, I'll give it a 9. Very fast-paced episode, a lot of stuff going on, too much stuff going on, but at least it was relevant
this week. I think you meant to say.
Yeah, it's 2 episodes. There's an episode on the 18th and an episode on the 25th. Yeah, we're not having an episode on Easter.
Yeah, we were going to mention a little bit later, but Bobby's brought up a great time to mention it. When we come, hold on. When we come back, we're not going to come back until after the last episode, after the season finale. But we're going to talk about both episodes as if they were one. Yeah, more or less. So
mostly because I'm not recording on Easter.
Yeah, that's a big reason. Definitely,
I'm going to be ham drunk.
Yeah,
and possibly real drunk.
So go ahead and send in your feedback. You can either send it in all together or 2 separate feedbacks, and we're going to do another Man-Bat-sized episode to wrap it all up. Probably have our general thoughts on the series too. So it'll probably, I'd imagine it could probably go like an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that.
Probably, since we've gone an hour already for this episode.
Maybe we can see if we can get some local guests to come over too.
We'll see.
To join us. See. That'd be fun. I don't
want to clean.
Yeah, but big headline. We'll
do one episode.
We have one more episode left, and then probably the wrap up with Gotham TV podcast if they're not,
if our schedules align.
Yeah, if our schedules align. But Mike Pasqua is up with another voicemail.
Woohoo!
So, Bill and Anne-Marie, this is Mike Pasqua.
Hi, Mike.
Well, first off, looks like Bane broke the back of Alfred. I mean. What does Alfred do to have to stay? What does he have to do to stay healthy? You know,
get out of Gotham.
He just can't stay healthy. No. Number 2, again, I like the way they realized him, Bane, but I also like the fact that really Selena couldn't do anything against him. Number 3, well, how about this? Batgirl truly began in this episode, and 4. Just on a side note, Bill and Anne-Marie, I wonder, now that in the timeline of this show, where are the Graysons, and have they had Dick yet? Yeah.
I feel like we talked about that one.
Because she was pregnant in that episode.
She was pregnant 5 years ago. There's a toddler, or like a little kid running around.
You know, Haley's circus the Flying Graysons worked for, it's a traveling circus. So they're probably somewhere in rural New Jersey or something like that.
Sounds good.
You know, I mean, we saw them in the first couple of episodes, first season, and then we haven't seen him since. So, I mean, I would assume they would have had him, but hey, you never know. Thank you.
Good old Gotham pregnancies.
Pregnancies in Gotham either last 1 month or 5 years.
Actually, it's more than 5 years, though, because we've had so many time jumps.
Yeah, that's very true. Because they even do the time jumps between seasons, too, usually. It's like usually at least a few months.
Or a couple months, yeah.
Okay, and we're going to wrap up here with another letter from Mark Bickford, who wrote to us about Trial of Jim Gordon. He says, "Hi, folks. First, a quibble. What happened to Barbara's suitcase? In the scene at the sub, she turns and walks back to the car without it, but then it vanishes from the dock."
Yeah, that is weird. That was weird. I saw that and I was like, confusing.
Penguin pocketed it. Something from this episode. Don't point the gun at the baby.
Yes. Oh, that was in the thing, but we were in the middle of something else. I still love how defensive everyone is of the baby.
Yeah,
everyone is, except for Bane, is very defensive of this baby. They don't care about the baby, but it's a baby.
Yeah, and Penguin was like, no, of course not. That's not what I meant.
It wasn't her.
I wanted to kill her, not him, not her, not him.
What's going on?
Okay, let's get back to Mark's letter here. Okay. Bigger question. Did they really have to recycle the plot from The Dark Knight Rises? Even though it was part of the original breakdown for the season, this episode felt like more like filler than the trial of Jim Gordon did.
Interesting.
See, that's interesting because I felt like it actually kicked some ongoing plot lines down the hallway.
Things progressed.
Yeah. Down Crime Alley. Mm-hmm. Worst part, when the guy with the deep voice came in and said, "In 4 weeks." Best regards and enjoy the month or 5 weeks off. Yep. Mark. Thank you very much, Mark, for writing in. We definitely appreciate it. Now, like I said, we do have a lot of or not a lot, but like 3 or 4 voicemails for the trial of Jim Gordon. We're going to go ahead and play that after we close out the show. So feel free to stick around. A lot of good points. Yes. You'll hear from Rebecca Johnson, Bobby, who you already heard from once. Donna O'War makes a very special appearance. You guys will have a lot of fun. But when you get done watching the next episode,
the next episode,
the
last episode,
send us all the feedback we can handle, which is quite a bit, at legendsofgotham@gmail.com. The voicemail is 424-274-2352. Again, that's 424-274-2352. In fact, you don't even have to call us about Gotham on that line.
If you just want to call us and say, hey,
feel free. We won't answer, but we might call you back.
That's true.
Twitter at Legends of Gotham, and Facebook is facebook.com/Legends of Gotham. Now, like I said, this is going to be a long break. Not as long as the last one.
No, for us.
Which was a year and a half or whatever, but still a fairly long break.
Season of Gotham.
And then we're going to come back here and bring Gotham home in
one final wrapped up bow.
And we'll birth the Bat.
I am birthing nothing. I am done birthing.
Well, Anne-Marie, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at AMDSimone or on Instagram at UBAnneMarie.
As for me, you can follow me on Twitter at Bill Meeks. You can, I still don't have it quite up yet because I've been busy working on the fakest, but you can pull up my website, billmeeks.com, in the very near future to find out all about me. And again, the fakest, it's coming back probably actually in this 5 weeks.
If you don't get an episode of Fakest before you get another episode of Legends, tweet him daily.
Yeah, you guys will, I guarantee you guys will get a preview of the first episode at least a few weeks before it comes out. Guaranteed. Ooh. Guaranteed. And, as for the show, legendsofgotham.com, if you want to, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel over at YouTube.
You never know what you'll get over there.
YouTube.universebox.com. Whatever's coming next, it's probably going to be there. So you might as well get plugged in and tuned in. And we only need like 30 more people to get our monetization back. So, every little bit helps.
Make other accounts and subscribe.
Yeah. No, don't make fake accounts and subscribe. Don't make fake accounts and subscribe.
Watch videos for at least 2 minutes.
So I guess that about does it for this week. Join us next time for... Nope.
Join us next time
for more Legends of Gotham.
Oy vey.
Hey guys, it's Bobby. So even with a shortened season of Gotham, looks like we got another filler episode. Except this week we didn't even get like good moments like Scarface and whatnot. We basically just got the Jim Gordon version of It's a Wonderful Life. But then they didn't even really show like what's life without him. I guess I'll just start off with what I did like. I guess I'll start off by eating crow, seeing as Poison Ivy is back, and I said earlier that she probably wouldn't be, so there's that. I did like the very, Batman 66 feel of how whenever they were taken by poisons or by Ivy's toxins, all it took was a good blow to the head to knock them back into reality. But I can't think of anything else to like about this episode. It was yet another sidestep from a sidestep that didn't need to be had. I mean, we got nothing about the main story really going on this week. The Riddler is just spoken of. Oh, he's off building a submarine. But at least he's spoken of because Jerome is just nowhere to be seen. And then really a wedding between Gordon and Lee. I found nothing redeeming about this episode. Nothing redeeming about this episode. So I guess arbitrary scale out of 347 spores of Ivy's toxin. Oh God, 100? I think I'm going to give this episode 100. Nothing. There's nothing in this episode. Like, I can't even see where you guys are going to fit in like a bring on the light night. Yeah. Let's move on with this story, please.
Hi, Bill and Anne-Marie. It's Dawn War. How are you? I did this whole post yesterday on Instagram about how I was real behind on Gotham and I need to catch up so that I can listen to Legends of Gotham and give you a shout out and for the fakest because I just listened to the whole thing and that was fun. Well, all of season 1. But, yeah, okay, so it turns out, like, here I am in the car ready to listen to Legends of Gotham on my way to work today, and there's no episode, so I'm not behind, and I still have time to get my feedback in, maybe? Alright, so I'm going to give you feedback anyway. So, the trial of Jim Gordon, which I guess you guys, from the 4-minute podcast that you left me, I can tell you that you, saw as a filler episode, I thought that was really fun. I have had struggles through some of these episodes, but this one was pretty fun for me. I think I just like seeing Zsasz in love. He's the best part of the whole show. I think, what else do I need to talk about? There's so much I need to talk about. I can't think of any of it, because I'm trying to merge the show. Yeah, anyway, I thought it was really fun. I liked it. Everybody was having a good time. It was I mean, I didn't like the whole, like, Jim Gordon dead thing. It was stupid, but I'm, like, not mad at it, because it's been really hard to watch this show for a couple of episodes now for me. So, there you go. I kind of hate all these characters now, and I really want the Penguin to win. Right, thanks, bye!
I only have 2 questions about this episode. One, a specific question is, didn't Batman the Animated Series kind of do the whole trial of a good guy by the bad guys thing when they did the episode about Batman on trial in Arkham? And number 2, what happened to the plot baby that Jim and Lee had a few years back? And if it still exists, doesn't that make those 2 people deadbeat parents? Question mark.
What's up, Legends of Gotham? This is Rebecca Johnson, and I wanted to send in some feedback about the Gotham Season 5 episode called The Trial of Jim Gordon. I mostly just wanted to chime in about the format and structure of this episode. Using Jim's near-death experience to put him on trial was something I was not expecting. It's a departure from the gritty and real-world feel of this show. I found myself okay with it, though, because it took a storytelling risk. I like it when TV shows go out of the box and challenge themselves, so I applaud Gotham for the way they used Jim's injury to further the Gorkins' relationship and round out his character as we get to the end of the show's run. Sure, it was rushed and they had to do a time jump, but I thought they balanced it out with a slower and quieter scene between Alfred and Lee when she expresses insecurities about being a mom. I thought that was a really sweet scene between those 2 characters, and it came at a time when Lee needed that good and encouraging advice the most. Well, that is it for me. Can't wait to hear your thoughts.
Oh my God, guys, I'm so glad to be back. Hello, it's Skip here. Oh my God, I miss you guys. You know, it's been so long. And nobody even like wrote me or got back to me or anything, dude. Like I sent you guys like so many messages. Like nobody even emailed me or like Snapchatted me or grammed me or poked me or like nothing. I swear, you guys are so rude. Oh my God, it's alright. I forgive you. Anyway, it's so good to be back, guys. I love you, Bill, Emery. This is Gotham Season 5. Let's just like get right into this episode because this was so amazeballs. I swear to God, I'm being serious. Like this was like over the top, so good. Okay. Anyway, so like right off the bat, Jim Gordon getting shot. Oh my God, what happened there? Did you not see that one coming? You're not wearing your glasses. You know you're missing that as well as your mustache. Hello? Not quite Jim Gordon yet. It's okay. I love you. So, like, who shot him anyway? So, apparently it was, like, Zsasz. Oh, you big, bald, beautiful man. It's okay. You were under Ivy's influence. And where did she come from? Like, left field and stuff? Like, hello? So good to see you back, girl. But, that fashion? Not in. Couldn't even tell what you were wearing. It, like, blended in the background, like, so good. It was, like, sea wear. I don't even know. And you're supposed to be like weed wear. Hello. Anyway, so what else to talk about on this one? Batman and Catwoman getting so close. Those two loving it up, fighting it up, loving it up. You two are gonna get it together, because I swear to God, I mean, serious. Like, hello, find out where you're gonna be and who you're supposed to be, because it's getting a little weird, okay? Anyway, oh, by the way, cat girl, you lay off the snack, okay? Because your cheeks are showing like super hard. Sorry, didn't even mean to bring that up, but I just had to. I'm sorry. I just wanted to say, like, let's look at the positive of this. Like, okay, Jim's gonna make it. Gonna be alright, and Bullock has his back like so hard. Oh, you are such a strong, beautiful man. Anyway, so yeah, come rescue me. And then on top of that, then like Barbara, she's fine. She's gonna have that baby. Oh, I can't wait till she has that baby boy, because I swear to God, that boy is gonna be so beautiful. Oh yeah, I know you heard me, Emery. Yeah, you heard me. That's a boy, okay? That's gonna be James Gordon Jr. Hello, biggest villain ever. Half sibling to Batgirl. Hello. Had a crazy ass mother, like Barbara Ellen Gordon. Hello. Anyway, like, spoiler, Suicide Squad member kills Amanda Waller. Like, yeah, James Gordon Jr. is gonna be like a ruthless villain. And yeah, we get to see his birth with Barbara. And then we get to see little Barbara Jr. with Lee and Gordon. Oh, it's so super. I can't wait. God, you guys, it's been a crazy, trippy road. It's gonna be wonderful. We got like 3 episodes left. Oh, they're gonna kill it. I swear, this is so awesome. Time jumps like everywhere. Hello, give it to me, please. Like in my face. Thank you. Anyway, so I love you guys. I miss you so much. I mean, seriously, you guys really got to drop me a line, okay? I love you. Call me back. Skip saying bye. Love you. Bye.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Mr. Popper's Penguins. So Anne Marie.
I love watching us.